Hi friends! If you're here to check out the looks I created using the Denona Metropolis palette and mini gold, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name is Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. We have another mega ultimate collaboration. The Denona Darlings are coming at you strong. Many of you had hinted from our McGrath Magic collab, you're like, hey, can you do something similar with Natasha Denona? And we were like, hey, are you guys down? Yes, we are. But there's a little twist to this collaboration, friends. This all started in Mel's brain of genius, and then Kelsee came over and wrote it all down for us in a beautiful treatment. And the premise is that we partner up with someone in the collab, and that person provides us inspiration picks for the looks that we will do with our two palettes assigned. And then I will assign someone else inspiration picks, but they have to be different so the looks are not repetitive. So it's all about creating looks that we have with the palettes that we already own. Maybe we forgot about the palettes that we had, maybe we're stumped. So this is great, not only with this collaboration, but something you can do on your own to surf the web or whatever. It could be a plain old magazine that you might still have to rake through different inspirations, not just makeup looks, but landscape, paintings, even music can help fuel those creative juices. So maybe we could dive back into these very expensive palettes that if we're only using once, well, shame on us. So I chose Metropolis, which I'm really happy about because I feel this could stump a lot of people. There's a lot going on, so we're gonna dive into that. And I also have the mini gold. My partner was Glam Girl Kelsee, and in this collaboration, you also have Kelsee Brianna J, who has Leela. I know, we talked and it's fine. I had to provide Kelsee's inspo, so she has Leela and Camel. Kelsee is providing Morgan's inspo, and Morgan has Star and Coral. Morgan's providing Tara Lynn's inspo, and Tara has Sunrise and Mini Nude. Tara is providing Mel's inspo, and Mel has Tropic and Mini Glam. And of course, Kelsee is providing my inspo. Like I said, my palettes are Metropolis and Mini Gold. So I'm really excited to get started, and alongside these looks, we will be talking about our different Natasha Denona products, much in the same vein like we did with Pat McGrath, going over as many products as we have from the brand. I actually don't have any complexion Natasha Denona products. I have a lot of her palettes, her eyeshadow palettes, and her cheek products, as well as her lip liners and some lipsticks. So why don't we dive into the eyes first, and then after that we'll get into the rest of the face. And with that said, why don't you dive in a little closer? What are we gonna do, fam? Well, I could start by putting on some brows. That's a very thick brow you got there, girlfriend. Going in with the orange matte, punching that on the outer V. Gonna get that on first. Then in with this red metallic, and this is with my Esam S33, by the way. Pulling it across the lid, patting more of the orange matte on the outer corner, and I'm starting to whisk it now more into a V shape. Sonia G, Worker Pro, with the red metallic, patting it over the orange matte, using the same brush to even out this wing. Now here's the thing, do I want to go totally different color with blues or greens? You know what, let's start out with this lighter metallic on the inner part of the eye, tapping that down and patting that over the red and bringing it somewhat here on the inner part of the eye. Taking this lighter orange metallic more in on top of the other orange that we just placed, but filling up this space and placing more of, I think this is like a dual chrome. This is more of a traditional metallic. So I think it's such a pretty combination. Now, do I want to go in? Yes, I do. Taking the teal under the lash line. I'm gonna start building this up. This is her cream to matte formula, which is how I was introduced first to this formula through Natasha Denona. I know a lot of indie brands have experimented with this, but Natasha is who I first encountered in terms of this types of texture. But namely, her metallics for me are just so sublime in terms of how they blend and how they build on the lid. They're so smooth, and you could actually manipulate them to blend like a matte. Now in with this shade on the inner part of the lower lash line, pulling that over the first cream to matte shade we applied on the outer part, taking a little more of the first shade and winging it out. I know we're going left field, but I'm using the olive. I want to create like a smokier bracket. Going in with my Smith 220. Is that too olive? It is too olive. Taking more of the truer blue, tapping that on the outer part. I'm gonna clean it up with concealer and I'll be right back. Okay, I just wanted to let you know I applied this shimmery duochrome gold to green shade on the inner part of the eye. I'm looking at mini gold. I feel like I could probably add this on top as well to give it that extra pippity pop pop. One thing about Natasha Denona palettes, if you don't know, initially you see all the shades and you're like, is there any rhyme or reason? There is. She creates all her eyeshadow palettes like a matrix. No matter how you dissect it, whether it be a diagonal, a quad, even a 6-panner, they will all create a look, and that just allows the user, you know, better freedom of movement in terms of not worrying about what to pair with what. It's all there for you, and it just kind of opens up the possibility of you creating like the most crazy looks, because I would have never thought of putting these two together, or I could, because I know blue and orange are opposite, they're complementary colors. I keep forgetting. But for me, when I see Metropolis, like this is what I think of. I think of combining as many shades as possible. And I took my Dior concealer to kind of carve under the shadow here so it could be a cleaner wing, because I think it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. All right, I'm gonna quickly go in with my Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. 6.5 on the inner part of my face and take Tawny on the outer part of my face. Using my Scott Barnes 65 Flawless Face. Ooh, I haven't done my eyes first in a minute. Now, I know Natasha has a ton of foundation, but I think a lot of her foundation has fragrance in it, which is unfortunate because it looks gorgeous when I see her use it on her models, and I even see her use it on her own skin. But girl, I can't use it. Sorry. Fragrance free in this house. I haven't tried her concealer either. I don't even know what the consensus is for her complexion products overall. You can let me know down below. Taking some of my Tawny stick with my, what is this, the Fenty 180 concealer. Natasha also has brushes. She has a whole line of them. They're beautiful. They have a white handle with a black ferrule. Not the softest brushes, however. I have a few. I actually just have two. This is her number 10. It's pretty soft, but like when you use Sonia G brush, even Hakuhodo, Wayne, Chikuhodo, that brush felt rough. I love the shape though. It picks up a lot of product, and I think she uses that brush a lot actually, Natasha Denona, to pack on color on the outer part of the lid. That's basically how she likes to start a lot of her looks. She likes to pack down the color first on this part of the eye, kind of like how we did with the orange matte, and then build from there and diffuse the edges with a lighter color. So it's rare that she would go in with the transition shade first to start the eye look. I'm actually quite inspired by that application process because I like building looks with the darker color first, because I feel because of how the gradient goes, it's easier to add on colors when you already start with the darkest one. But I don't know, that could just be me. Going in with Mama Pat's LM14. I usually use LM13. I just don't know where it is right now. Patting that down just lightly to create a little more highlight here. Very careful tracing around the edges. Natasha does have powder. I unfortunately do not have that powder. I'm just quickly going in with my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Face. It's either the Flawless Face or good old Mama Pat's under eye blurring, but I just happen to have this nearby. This is with my Chikuhodo Z8. Gonna pat that under the eye. There we go. And also around the mouth and between the brows and the forehead. Oh, darn, I don't have that palette. I don't have the sculpting palette from Natasha. Those did go on sale. I held back though. I'm pretty proud of myself. It was so easy just to say, like I did with the Diamond Blush palettes, just to be like, oh, they're just $45, just get them. But I'm like, that's so much product. Like, I feel the same about her Diamond and Blush palettes, which I love. Happy I got these on sale. Feel like, I don't know, I could get a little more use out of these because of the blush and the highlight, whereas that sculpting palette had 3 powders, 3 creams, contour, highlight, and like a highlight matte. I think that's how it went. I'm like, I have enough. I have enough. What we will do, however, definitely a huge fan of her cheek compacts. This was not the first. Her first 4-pan complexion or cheek palette was the Bloom palette. Blew my socks off. She has 2 cream products. She has the blush and the glow cream, and then you could put on the super glow, or no, yes, the glow extreme or the duo glow. This cream blush, one of the best. It's so beautifully pigmented. The color itself is just very universal. You just have to use a little bit if you're on the fair side of the spectrum, or you use a lot of it if you're on the deeper side of the spectrum. Tan, bronze, and glow. This has to be my favorite. I freaking love this palette. The Glow Impact powder in here is insane. And the glow cream base, this stuff is amazing. It has such beautiful texture, but the bronze is one of my favorite bronzing shades ever. It's more on the tawny side. I just love how it looks. So with that said, I'm gonna go with the glow cream base first, tap it on the cheekbones. I just like to use my finger. You could use a sponge or whatever you're covering yourself, whatever tool you think more fit for your skin, but man, oh man. And right on top, before I move on to the other parts of my cheeks, I go in with the Glow Impact powder right on top, and I tap it, tap my Sonaji mini cheek, because this is the process through which Natasha applies her highlights. She believes that it's good to apply a cream base first, and that acts as a foundation for any other powder products you wish to apply thereafter, because she's all about building the glow from the bottom up. Go in with the cream product first, and then you follow through with a powder product so the powder could look more like skin. I'm going to use her Citrine palette. Is this Citrus? Citrus. This shade right here, oh my gosh. This is her Glow Extreme. Well, her Glow Extreme, what we just applied from the Tan Bronzer Glow, and her Diamond Powder. Her Diamond Powder definitely meant to be applied with fingers. And trivia, Natasha does not use glitter in any of her formulas. She only uses crushed pearl and crystal, and that's for any of her cheek products or her eyeshadows, because glitter is not great on the skin, and the crystal, the crushed crystal and the crushed pearls is a lot more gentle, especially on sensitive skin types. But the Diamond Powder is almost like a scatter of light, and it's just a great finishing touch if you want to go in with the cream first, then you go in with the powder highlight, and you go in with the Diamond Powder. Forget it. It's too much to take. For the rest of my face, this is my Surratt powder brush with the Charlotte, just to take away a little bit of the tack left behind by the Traceless, which I don't mind because that's why it's so beautifully skin-like. But what we will do is go in with this Tan Bronze and Glow bronzer. Are you kidding me? Chikuhodo F04, none other. This packs a lot of punch. So right under, just right under that highlighter. This is look number 1. We got another one coming. Just want you to know. We got lots of work to do today. A little goes a long way, but it's okay because she blends. And there's also a rosiness to this bronzer hue that I feel comfortable taking it over my cheeks a little bit. I think it's such a great shade for that. Just cleaning up a little bit under that bronzer application. All right, we're looking feline. If you want to use blush, Bloom is a good option. I actually love the Love Glow. I still have it in the box because this box was just marvelously beautiful. And the Snow Globe lid, come on. The cream in here, I love. It's not actually a blush. I think of it as one. It just has a little bit more of like a glowy type of feel that I think is pretty. Now, just wanted to show you, but preferably, because of this look, it's so like high and mighty. I'm going to go over that with my Tom Ford foundation. I want to keep the bronzer a little higher on the skin so it could lift my face a little more. I love my Love Glow, and I just wanted to show you quickly. Maybe we'll do that for the gold look. I don't know. This highlight, I know it's hard to see because it's so bright. I love how her products are made to layer and to just build that glow from the bottom up. I think it's such an effective technique. And yes, I don't need all these palettes, but if I have them, I'm gonna use them. Before I come off camera to put on these lashes, I want to put on a lip. I do have 2 of her lip liners. Not particularly mind-blowing, but not bad either. They are on the drier side. If anything, I really love the tone of them. This is in L5, which I think is more nudie. L6, or is it L6? That's a little more beige. Yeah, L6 is a little more brown in it. L5 has a little more rose. I like that a lot. But for the sake of the look, I'm going to go in with L6 and then with my favorite lipstick. Her I Need a New lipsticks, by far one of the best releases in the lipstick category in 2019. They are so smooth, and the color impact, instantaneous. They feel like velvet lipstick cushion on your lip, and the range is beautiful. I have 3 of these. This is in Noah. I think like one of my top favorite nude shades of all time. I love it so much. Do I have Michele in here? Let me see. Because I like to put Michele on the center of my lip, but I might not have her in this bag. It's all right. Don't need it. Don't need it. All right, fam. I'm going to slap on some lashes and I'll be right back. And here's a wide shot of the look on the lashes. I have Ardell Wispies, the Studio Effects edition, with a little extra fluff on the outer edges of the lash band. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. Lashes bring everything together, as you know, and you can definitely put on a stronger lash to accentuate the very feline feel of this look. And I also used the Linda Hallberg Crayon in Au Revoir Flash. I think it's such a perfect pairing to all the shades we applied on the lower lash line and really pulled everything together. Keep in mind that Natasha Denona has a full line of makeup products. She has her primer, her foundation, her concealer, she has eye primer, she has powders, she has her complexion palettes, as we went over during the cheek portion of the video with her sculpting palette. She also has separate sculpting powders that I think she reformulated at one point and kind of polarizing that. Some people hated it, some people loved it, so really don't know what's up with that. But for the most part though, my top favorites for her are the eyeshadow palettes and her cheek products and her lip. She had lipsticks before. She actually has lip gloss that I don't have with me. Her lip Euphoria, 3 shades. They're minty. Not my favorite effect, but I do love the colors, so I use them from time to time. She does have a few liquid lipsticks, and she at one point, I do actually have this, hold on, her crystal top coats. This is in bronze. If anything, it's always nice to know you can add this beautiful dazzle effect. It's very hard to see and they're kind of tough to pick up, but when you do, and you can dab them wherever you like, I could just dab it right over the orange portion and it really brings that sparkle forward and vamps up the shine. It is a gorgeous top coat, and again, crystal in that she doesn't use glitter, so any of these crystal pots know that they're very easy on the skin, ideal for sensitive skin in that it's not going to feel harsh, it's not going to scratch the skin surface. And I think that's something stand out about her products, and I wish that was more out there because people, I guess I used to do this, they see something sparkle and automatically think it's glitter. Not necessarily so. There are different ingredients out there and the resourcing that will determine the overall feel of a product, and that will be probably more beneficial for someone who's very sensitive to glitter. I think I want to use this again on the second look because we definitely have to go in heavy with the mini gold. But again, these textures are just beautifully sublime. The red metallic, just the smoothness of it is outrageously beautiful. You could place it on the lid, you could smooth it through the crease, pull it under the lash line. You could do so many things with it. And then you have the ones that are more texture, that have maybe like a dual chrome feel to them. And then you have the creamy matte or the cream to matte formula that's almost like a mousse. This is what I call the avocado shade. It is such an interesting texture, and I think pretty foolproof to use, especially with the deeper shades here, because then it gives you an opportunity to build it so you don't feel like you have to go in blending right away. But then you have her traditional mattes here, her creamy matte formula, so creamy in texture. It's just so smooth, yeah? But they do pack a lot of punch. I think that's why people, when I compared the Sunrise palette to the Viseart Spritz, some people feel like Natasha Denona mattes are like a little too much, and I feel could only be layered a few at a time. But for the most part, beautifully color saturated and has really smooth texture. So I'm happy with this look. Hopefully I did the inspo picture justice. Now we're moving into this inspo, and I think I want to do something really smoky, really just like, I want to look like that tree. You know, I'm gonna put the tree on my eyeball. So with that said, let's take this off and I'll see you in a bit. Oh, don't mind this eye. We got a little irritated with too much bioderma. Put too much bioderma on the Q-tip. I definitely want to combine Metropolis with mini gold. We definitely want to go in with this. I think I'm going to use this whole palette. That's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to use Natasha's brush. This is her number 10, and I'll go in with this shade. Not the softest, but I do like how it packs on the color. I like the shape of the brush, and I like how it picks up really good shadow. And that shade is marvelous all on its own. Now the olive green matte with my Hakuhodo B142 on the outer edges of that charcoal. It's like a metallic. It has a little bit of sheen to it, but very low key. And I feel it's an optimal shade to apply all over the lid because it does have that sheen, so it doesn't look flat. Just starting to pull this out into my usual V. Now going in with this, more on the inner part of the eye, and I want to whisk it up towards the brow. Nice, we like that. I want to pull it over the olive matte from Mini Gold to further feather out those edges so it could look super green. Some S33 with the olive matte from Mini Gold just to smooth everything out. Okay, now with this beautiful duochrome, tapping that on with my reference number 2. This definitely has a little more texture. Natasha is known for her duochrome finishes, and although I know there are lots of duochromes in the indie market, duochrome in the luxury beauty space is hard to come by. I feel people tend to not dive into those types of finishes, but the way Natasha curates these into her palettes, I think is just marvelous. And you just see that beautiful reflect. I want to do something here on the lower lash line that's not necessarily in Mini Gold, but I want to dip back into Metropolis. We'll start off with this and then move into that shade. Starting on the outer corner, taking a little bit of this shade from Mini Gold, tap that on the outer part of the eye, and then bringing up towards the lid. Now with that medium metallic shade, it's more like a taupey type of a green. All these red eyes, oh my god. Now with this duochrome, with my Smith 253, I'm gonna put that on the inner part of the eye as well. So we have a strong gold presence here on the inner part of the eye, but everything else is beautifully smoky and olive. I'm gonna bring some onto the inner part of the lid and layer it over the other duochrome, the initial one we applied. I think it's such a nice harmonious effect. Then taking the olive green matte from Mini Gold and whisking the lower edges here. You get really olive, tapping that charcoal shade still on the outer corner to keep it very smoky. All right, let's do the other eye and I'll be right back. Here's a close-up of both eyes. I know I primarily did olive because the picture has gold and black. I thought I could bring in some of that black with that beautiful charcoal sheen color in the mini gold palette. I think we have a pretty good gradient and you could definitely feel that there is gold heavily present in the look, but I know there was a lot of green in the first inspo, so I wanted to bring a little more olive for this. And I have the same Ardell lashes in Wispy Studio Effects, and on the rim I have two Linda crayons on. On the waterline I have Vega Flash, and on the innermost corner I have Zhao Flash, which is just so beautifully bright. Now in terms of complexion, I took the same highlighting steps I did for the first look, but if you wanted to add a little more blush, because I know I didn't want to put blush on the first eye, let's try the Love Glow Cream Blush again, but perhaps applying it a little higher on the cheekbones. I'm going to take some on the back of my hand and actually use my Scott Barnes brush. Excuse me, why are you not in focus, please? 64. Take that from the back of my hand and press that again higher on the cheek. I think this eye look also calls for more of a neutral complexion all around, but I feel as long as you place any pinky type of blush higher on the face, it still pulls up the entire look and it doesn't look so flushed on the apples of the cheeks. But isn't that such a beautiful color? I have to use this more often. I definitely neglected my Love Cheek palette, and with this brush I've been using it a ton to apply my cream blushes. I just think it does so well in terms of where I like to place it higher on the cheeks, and placing a little more of the Tan Bronze and Glow bronzer powder just in the hollows. And on the lips I have both liners on L5 and L6, but on the actual lip I have Michele, which is like the beigeier nude out of the three that I have: Noah, Sammy, and Michele. And here's a wide shot of all the products on the skin. I am so happy with this. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I'm thrilled that we were able to use both palettes successfully. Hopefully these videos have helped you friends tap back into your Natasha Denona palettes. Remember, Natasha is not cheap, and it's nice that we can pull inspiration from different resources to help us dive back in and just play with our makeup. I know we're not going anywhere fun. We're just going to the bathroom or to the living room, but to experiment and to maybe practice your technique and play with other application methods that you haven't before, and now's the time to experiment. I need to do this look more often. I just loved how it turned out, and I love the first look too. Before, I thought it was gonna turn for the worst, but we made it happen. And again, I just absolutely love her products. So her first big pal to the industry were those big 28 pan palettes, and basically it is all her 5 pan palettes rolled into one because she wanted artists to have them all in one place. And it is very expensive per palette, but if you were to buy those shadows individually, it'll be much more than the total retail value for one of the 28 pan palettes. The way she puts together color stories, I think, is genius. I know she's not the only genius. We have a lot of geniuses in the industry, but what stand out to me is just how well she can put the colors together in such a way that no matter how you dissect her palette, you will have a look. And if initially you see any of these color combinations and you're like, I can't do it, you can. I feel she has it all there in her head and in the palette for you to try. And as long as you experiment and you're open to combining shades that you would not usually do so, but she presents it that way to you, you will have a lot of fun and just make beautiful discoveries. Really can't speak on her complexion category because I don't have her foundation or her concealer or even her powder, but her cheek products, some of the best highlighters in the market because she has so many textures. And I didn't even get into the Super Glow powder. This was her revamped highlighter. I think she had like an all over face and body highlight at some point that was around this size, and then she came out with the Super Glow powders. This is in light medium. I mean, the shine on this is amazing. It's just so lightweight on the skin. It has that beam factor while again feeling like just a veil of highlight, but it has so much impact at the same time. And these 4-pan palettes, whatever 4-pan palette she releases, I'm getting. They have just hit it out of the park for me. And the Tan Bronze and Glow, This freaking palette, one of my absolute faves. I don't use this enough because I need to stop buying bronzer. I know that is my fault. If she came out with a bronze cream, oh my god. But just her method with highlights and how she implements that and how she designs her palettes, it just helps the user understand makeup application better. And I understand it's her type of makeup application, but I like that. I like having a taste of how Natasha does her makeup by how she designs her palettes. And ultimately, that's why I like to buy her products, because it's like I grab a little bit of her genius every time I purchase a palette, whether it be a cheek palette or an eyeshadow palette, even her lipsticks. These cream highlighters, they're just phenomenal. They're phenomenal. They're so easy to use, and how you layer this and then you go in with the super glow on top, and it just enhances the highlight overall, but your skin looks like skin. You saw that close up. You saw that close up with a flashlight. Outstanding. My skin looks so smooth. And I don't use these enough. I try not to buy a whole bunch because I feel I will never get through this, but these are so beautifully just sublime on the lid, very lightweight, and I feel that they don't feel scratchy or they don't feel heavy on the lid, but the dazzle, amazing. Like, if you're not crazy about Pat's Astral shades, I think you will like Natasha's crystal pots or even her crystal formulas in her eyeshadow palettes. So that is it, my friends. Hopefully this video helped. Hopefully all of our videos help in you wanting to dive back into your Natasha Denona palette. I can't wait to see everyone else's looks. I am thrilledly excited. Make sure not only you check out their video, but their channels as well. All channels and all video links will be down below in the description box. Say hi, friends, for each of them for me. And a huge thank you to you ladies for having me on board again. It is an honor. It is a pleasure to work with these YouTube creators that I think so highly of. And just to share ideas and to collaborate with our craft is really humbling. And again, I thank you everyone for having me on again. And with that said, friends, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel, but not only to my channel, but everyone else's channel. And until then, I'll see you in here again with another review, tutorial, Natasha Denona palette video, get ready with me, or nightly life chit chats. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.